The enigmatic metropolis of Teotihuacan, the city of the gods, has kept its secrets jealously guarded beneath the soil of the central Mexican plateau for more than 1,500 years. Despite decades of research into its colossal pyramids and vast avenues, the core of its spiritual power and the legitimacy of its rulers remain shrouded in speculation. However, a monumental discovery, unearthed beneath the temple of the Feathered Serpent, has burst onto the archaeological scene, radically altering our understanding of the city. The subterranean tunnel, explored with meticulous precision by archaeologist Sergio Gómez leading the Tlalocan Project, has revealed itself not as a mere cavity, but as a direct access point to the Teotihuacan underworld, a subterranean cosmos that held the key to the relationship between political power and the sacred realm. Like, subscribe and share. Let's begin. The tunnel, which extends 103 meters beneath the temple of the Feathered Serpent, was not an ordinary tomb for an individual. Instead, its primary function was that of a ritual conduit to a symbolic underworld. The ancient Teotihuacanos did not view this space as a dark void, but as the site of original creation, the place where the gods were born, and from which life and power emanated. The exploration revealed that the tunnel was deliberately saturated with offerings and ritual objects, cast along the passageway as acts of devotion and supplication. The excavation project, carried out with extreme care to preserve the context of each find, recovered thousands of objects. Among them were valuable jade ornaments, which in Mesoamerica symbolized water, fertility, and life, pieces of shell and serpentine, often associated with the sea and the origin of life, and obsidian artifacts, the volcanic glass fundamental to Teotihuacan technology and ritual. Fragments of earlier friezes were also found, relocated and offered as gifts, suggesting a profound historical awareness and the ritual reuse of previous architectural elements. The richness and diversity of these offerings, arranged along the passageway and in its final chambers, suggest a highly structured ritual system and a religious and political elite that invested vast resources in these acts of spiritual legitimation. What makes the Teotihuacan tunnel truly unique is the way in which the Teotihuacan builders recreated the cosmos within this underground space, confirming a sophisticated worldview that directly linked political power with the sacred world and creation myths. Cinnabar and mercury, symbols of life and death. The presence of cinnabar, a red mineral composed of mercury sulfide, and traces of liquid mercury proved to be a key discovery. Cinnabar was a fundamental symbolic element in Mesoamerican cosmology and was used to sprinkle offerings or bodies. Its intense red color was associated with blood, fire, and the rising sun, suggesting rituals related to life and death, regeneration and rebirth. Mercury, for its part, evokes an underground river or lake, a representation of the aquatic underworld of Tlalocan, with which the exploration project is associated. Pyrite, the starry vault. One astonishing discovery was the deliberate use of pyrite, a mineral also known as fool's gold. The Teotihuacanos had covered certain sections of the walls and floor with this material, which by reflecting the light from the torches or oil lamps used during rituals simulated a starry sky. This visual effect was not merely aesthetic but profoundly ritualistic, connecting the tunnel to the cosmos and the night sky. By descending into this passage, the ruler or priest not only entered the underworld, but also stood on a cosmic axis uniting the earthly world, the underworld, and the heavens. At the end of the 103-meter tunnel, the passage opened into 3 chambers arranged in a trefoil shape. This trio of chambers represents the sacred heart of the underground complex and has been the subject of intense speculation. Archaeologist Sergio Gómez has suggested that these chambers could have been the symbolic resting place for the divine founders of Teotihuacan. Alternatively, they could represent a primordial sacred space, the exact point where the universe or time was believed to have originated. The idea of a resting place for the divine founders is closely tied to the legitimacy of subsequent rulers. By performing rituals at this central, final location, the leaders of Teotihuacan could claim direct descent from the founding gods or heroes, thus solidifying their right to rule over the vast metropolis. This is the crucial point that changes our understanding of the city's power structure. The tunnel under the temple of the Feathered Serpent, far from being an isolated find, has provided the missing piece to understand the political and spiritual complexity of Teotihuacan. Underworld power connection. The discovery reinforces the idea that the power of Teotihuacan rulers was intrinsically linked to the sacred. Unlike other societies where power was merely military or economic, in Teotihuacan legitimacy was obtained through mediation with the divine world. The rituals performed in this subterranean space were the public or semi-public demonstration of the elite's connection to the origin of creation and the forces of the underworld, essential for fertility, the agricultural cycle, and the continuity of life. Detailed cosmovision. The tunnel has revealed the complexity of Teotihuacan thought regarding the origin of time and the universe. With its simulation of a starry sky and its reference to the aquatic world of the underworld through Mercury, the tunnel becomes a central axis of their cosmology. It allows us to infer that the surface architecture, the pyramids, and the subterranean spaces, the tunnel, formed an integrated system that represented the different levels of the universe. This discovery also helps to better understand a previous find, the tunnel previously discovered beneath the Pyramid of the Sun. This other tunnel, explored in the 1970s without today's care and technology, was initially considered a natural cave. Now, in light of the Feathered Serpent tunnel, it is likely that the chamber beneath the Pyramid of the Sun had a similar ritual and cosmogonic function, reinforcing the idea that tunnels were an essential feature of the city's sacred architecture. Despite its immense historical value and the public curiosity it generates, the underground tunnel of Teotihuacan will never be open to the public. This decision was made by the authorities and archaeologists based on two fundamental reasons. The first is conservation. The tunnel is extremely fragile and narrow. The massive passage of visitors with the humidity, body heat, and simple physical wear and tear would cause irreversible damage to the delicate structures and, crucially, to the ritual context in which the offerings were found. The preservation of this sacred and unique space for future research takes priority over tourist access. The second reason is the dissemination of knowledge through technology. Instead of exposing the tunnel to risk, work is actively underway to create virtual replicas and immersive experiences for the public, as reported by the BBC and specialized media. These digital recreations allow millions of people to explore the chambers, view the offerings, and experience the simulated subterranean world without endangering the original site. Like, subscribe, and share. The tunnel beneath the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, under the leadership of Sergio Gómez, has been fundamental to understanding the profound spirituality and power structure of the ancient metropolis. This conduit to the underworld is not merely an artifact, but a testament to the creation myths of Teotihuacan and the complex and inextricable relationship between the earthly and the sacred that defined this civilization. The silence of its chambers now speaks with the clearest voice about the true nature of the city of the gods. The discovery and exploration of an underground passageway, particularly at a site as monumental as Teotihuacan, transcends mere archaeological discovery. It becomes a profound revelation about the psyche and cosmology of the civilization that constructed it. This passageway to the underworld is not just an engineering or ritual artifact, but a physical manifestation, sculpted in stone and earth, of their vision of the universe. It is a resounding testament to the creation myths of Teotihuacan and to the complex and inextricable relationship between the earthly and the sacred that defined life in the city of the gods. In the Mesoamerican worldview, and particularly in that of Teotihuacan, the cosmos was structured on three fundamental levels: the sky, the abode of the creator and celestial gods; the earth, the human and natural realm; and the underworld, known as Mictlán. This subterranean conduit, which often extends beneath primordial structures such as the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, or the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, symbolizes the axis mundi, the axis that connects these three planes. Its existence underscores a fundamental truth. The architecture of Teotihuacan was not merely functional or aesthetic. It was an intentional, monumental-scale reproduction of its universal order. The fact that the conduit remained sealed and shrouded in darkness for centuries is what lends its discovery such powerful resonance. The silence of its chambers was not a void, but a repository of meaning, now broken by the light of modern research. This silence now speaks with the clearest voice about the true nature of the city of the gods. This clear voice manifests itself through the ritual deposits and offerings found inside. These are not simply abandoned objects, but a coded material language. The discovery of pyrite mirrors, which visually connected the underworld with the sky, animal bones, symbols of power and sacrifice, and jade figurines associated with water and fertility indicates that the conduit was a place of intense ritual. It served as a portal for the dead, where rulers and elites made their journey to Mictlán, ensuring their regeneration and the continuity of life on the surface. For priests, a space of direct communion with the primordial deities of the earth, rain, and creation. The existence of this tunnel reinforces the idea that life in Teotihuacan was managed through constant negotiation with the supernatural. Agricultural prosperity, political power, and social stability were intimately linked to the proper management of the relationship with the underworld, the repository of the seed of life and the source of water. The subterranean conduit necessitates a fundamental reinterpretation of surface architecture. Pyramids are no longer merely temple platforms. They are the apex of a complex cosmic system that extends downward, seeking the mythical roots of existence. The monumentality of the pyramid is therefore a direct measure of the depth and significance of its subterranean counterpart. The inextricable relationship between the earthly and the sacred was evident in every act. The city's urban planning, perfectly aligned astronomically, was a map of the cosmos. The sacrificial rituals documented in these chambers were necessary acts to nourish the gods and maintain cosmic balance. The conduit is, in essence, the aorta of this system, the channel through which vital energy flowed between the world of the living and the realm of the dead and the creators. In conclusion, this tunnel is a geological and archaeological record of Teotihuacan theogony. It teaches us that for this civilization, the underworld was not a place of punishment, but the womb of life. Thanks to the patient work of archaeologists, the sealed chambers of Teotihuacan have broken their silence to reveal a more vivid, complex and powerful truth about the civilization that dared to build its city in the image and likeness of the universe. Like, subscribe and share. See you next time.